A tsunami in September 2009 killed dozens and caused tens of millions of dollars in damage in American Samoa. Many Samoans requested the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, record and share their stories in hopes of saving lives in the future. This video was created by the men and women of NOAA for that purpose. Fatmanuianga mo Oto Uma.
Man, this is a big one. Let me call PTWC.
That morning, I was inside the classroom preparing for my class, and then it started shaking.
I felt this vibrating or shaking, so when it went strong, I asked my mom and my sister to run out the house with me.
Whapena ona whaatunu ina mātou ele mātou suipule ina ia mātou waweo ese ma le whale a ongo.
Sa mātou tūtui whawhalau e sa o aulane sa taula la pūlau e in mahanosi on mafui tu sa ua pewalu o vaia o isi tameti o pewalu lunga sa ulalo il mafui e o pito lunga le whale ia o mutua Minoi ale ne pitorunga fali to pa ume dalo.
It started to shake stronger.
That is the warning to you to start run to the high place.
And then right before it stops, and I started asking our teachers to have the students form up line and start walking.
This is the National Weather Service.
Yeah, PTWC, this is Pao Pao. This is Akapo. We just felt a very strong earthquake here. It went on, the duration probably about two minutes.
This weird feeling I have looking at the ocean, it's all bubbling. So I told her that it's going to be, there's a tsunami coming after it. And then she asked me what would it be best to do. So I said, I'm going to ring the bell. We had an amount of 100+ kids reporting to school that morning. Ringing the bell, I could see them come running.
Mātou tele I sawali wali pena. Na mātou tama mo e ofo I alo mawhanau na iei lalo mātou wawaina. Na mātou tama mo e umalawa na ia. Te atule be sami ma mātou.
It took us less than 10 minutes to cross going up to the hill.
Okay.
8.0.
We got an 8.0?
Yeah, 8.0 time, 6:48 a.m.
Oh, where's that?
Distance of 120 miles south of Apia.
120 miles south of Samoa? Yes. So that means it will be what? We'll be here in less than 15 minutes?
Less than 15 minutes.
Oh, well, I think we better issue a verbal warning. We won't have time to wait for PTWC.
O ese rola ufangau kasi mea ngaula longa wa nga mea sa whaapapula mai le official le noa official lava le o wa aikau a whaalongoinga loa se lulu makau kia ia vave loa o nga whais konfiki vave loa o nga sulu aku me ola il kangaka ia o lea sa o la longa loa sa o mawawawinga le longo a pe sa le mamawhakele e kia.
So I'm going to call Homeland Security right now.
The National Weather Service Office alerted the Department of Homeland Security to issue an oral warning and to activate the emergency alert system.
Homeland Security. NOAA had now issued a tsunami warning for American Samoa, effective immediately.
Fautuanga mololonga, wayeneni lo fautuanga mololonga mo American Samoa, ile fitu ile tayao nei.
It's a wave.
Agapo got a hold of him and he said, "This is me, Agapo." And I said, "Agapo, we need you. What's going on? We need a sure word of what's going on." And he said, "Put me on air."
in 5 minutes or 7 minutes right after the earthquake, and Akapo, we connected with Akapo, and so Akapo spoke and gave the warning.
Yeah. Yo maroa maunga. Yo e tarofa la tunu. E toi fia fa sila tu la tunu ni tu la. Le o mo tinoa wa fa ina sa mo ngaru mo mo. Ai fa tu ina pera tunu. O tsunami le tasa ngaru tele ngaru e ngasoro mai. Therefore afa pewa e lunga se no fa ma lunga. No fo e nam fa tali. Se avatu se all clear office
Alua ko lo ma fa longo ma kongu. Kaungu aku lesi piko le ngu. Ya o alu lava le mela o e al speaker ma. Kau fai ka ia vave nga o lunga langa o le meke le vave. Ya o ko fo I mai lo. O ke o mai lo o nga ko kongo le makongu. Au va ai lo kai le sam. Wa makua le ai se sua sami. Wa makua waku a ko kai. Yo lela ngo uloa iloa. Wa sau mo ia le lolo.
I saw the water splash over the sewing shop in front of the ocean, so I shouted the water is coming. So I shouted to go up higher, and the only building I know was our second floor here.
Na matro falongo ina matro ina mulmuliat. Na matro falongo ina le pa o le mataptia le fainga le ngalu le no.
O fa pe o se mea wa ole malapanga o mai. O ka mo elo la ko o ke kau a ole sau le mea. Pe ole pa o le mea fa papa o ia ale aku sa pangi.
The second splash, I saw everything when all the buildings toppled down and everything, their walls came to the school.
People started saying there was a wave. There's been a wave.
We heard sound of the houses have been demolished by the wave.
Those voices of the kids screaming, yelling, they're panicking, they're worried about their parents.
Lord Jesus Christ, please give us the power to accept the things that are going on here. We understand that this is the power of nature.
My host dad went down and they said everything's gone.
E tupu atu mo o matou lunga le mea mau lunga le si matou lunga. Ia o no foi lo tamiti ava tu lo le tala. O le se no uilalo.
Everything was destroyed. Then I got to the school and my classroom was just a pile of rubble and none of it was mine. I found the cover of a book and a thing of stickers was all I found from my classroom.
The earthquake of September 29th was so close to American Samoa that the tsunami waves arrived less than 12 minutes after the earthquake started. Many coastal villages were struck by the tsunami as it hit on all sides of the island, and waves continued to arrive for up to 90 minutes. The images of the destruction and damage from the tsunami reveal the powerful force of nature. It is a day that must be remembered for all that was lost. Scientists have studied the events of that day. Their research helps us understand how this happened.
My name is Stephen Ward. I'm a research geophysicist here at the University of California, Santa Cruz. My main interest is seismology, but I also do natural hazards like landslides, tsunamis, asteroid impacts. Most tsunamis around the Pacific Rim are caused by some things called subduction zone earthquakes. In those places, the crust of the Earth is being pulled into the center of the Earth. So it slowly gets pulled down and it adds energy to the upper plate, and that springs back and makes a tsunami. When I hear of an earthquake along the Pacific Rim, that's the mechanism I typically think of.
My name is Thorne Lay. I'm a seismologist and a professor of Earth and Planetary Sciences at the University of California, Santa Cruz. Well, initially the earthquake on September 29th interested us because it was clearly a magnitude 8 earthquake that was quickly determined by the U.S. Geological Survey, and we knew that such a large earthquake can produce a tsunami.
For the September 2009 Samoa earthquake, I did it like I usually do. I put in the information that the seismologists can give me about the size of the earthquake, the location, the type of faulting. I put that in the simulation and developed an estimate for the run-up in American Samoa, and it came to about 2 meters, 2.5 meters.
We quickly confirmed that the primary faulting had been a rupture within the Pacific Plate just to the southwest of American Samoa, and it was an unusual earthquake in that regard. And it probably displaced the ocean bottom by on the order of 10 meters.
Almost within hours, you get some initial reports of the wave damage, and clearly I was way low. You get reports of 4 meters, 5 meters, 6 meters, 8 meters, reports of damage and casualties. So clearly, I know right away that something that went into the simulation was not right.
The most unusual aspect is that it triggered a second earthquake, what we could call a stealth earthquake, about 40 seconds after the first event, so it was hard to detect it because the strong vibrations from the first event concealed it. And that was also a magnitude 8 earthquake.
And it turns out that the refinements that have been done recently help explain why the initial tsunami models were so low. This extra earthquake, this outer rise earthquake, was much more powerful than we would have imagined. It had a mechanism such that it was very efficient at generating tsunamis. The slip in the earthquake was very compressed till near the surface, and all those circumstances combined made for a wave 2 or 3 times bigger than first guesses suggested.
So we have both a breaking within the plate, and then we have a pair of magnitude 8 earthquakes only about 70 kilometers apart, occurring within 2 minutes.
The outer rise earthquake, the tsunamigenic part of it, was in fact beamed right at Samoa. That's the reason so much wave energy happened there and not elsewhere. The wave approached American Samoa from the southwest. It hit the western side, made some pretty big run-ups there, but it also tended to wrap around to the north and to the south because of the shallowing water. Waves always bend toward the direction of shallowing water, so this part of the wave might have missed Samoa, but the shallower water north of it tended to bend the wave in, and it came smack to the north and to the south.
For people in American Samoa, the primary hazard that they're going to be exposed to is most likely tsunami coming in.
There's 2 types of tsunami warnings. One is called the official warning, where you wait for someone on the radio to tell you what to do or not to do. That's fine, but it takes a couple hours for the whole system to work, to get information to the center, to decide what to do, to radio that, to telephone the emergency services people.
If it's a local earthquake, there's a chance that you can save yourself by quickly reacting as soon as you feel the ground shake, because the waves go through the ground, the vibrations of the ground, at a faster velocity than the speed of the wave in the water. So if you feel the ground shake, immediately evacuate from low-lying regions, get to high elevation, or if you're in a strong building, go upstairs. Do a vertical evacuation, because you may only have a few minutes before a tsunami comes in, but you'll have been alerted about that potential by the shaking of the ground.
Big damaging tsunamis are pretty rare, maybe once a decade somewhere in the Pacific. It's a good chance that the people of Samoa won't experience a big damaging tsunami again in this generation. But that doesn't mean they should forget about it or learn the lessons that they have learned. People say if you forget about history, you're going to relive it. That's certainly true with tsunamis. Several ways to keep that memory going is to learn about it now, listen to these stories, maybe do some research of your own. You can also pass the stories down to your children. They may not ever see a tsunami, but you could say, you know, when I was your age, I saw a wave come up to this part of the beach and knock off so many houses. And they'll remember that type of thing and what to do under certain circumstances. you'd be surprised what a little story will carry with your children.
It is important that tsunami survival be taught from generation to generation. These lessons include: there is frequently not enough time for official warning. If you feel a strong earthquake, that is your warning. Or if you see the ocean recede, bubble, or act strangely, take immediate action to save yourself. Do not wait to be told what to do. Evacuate to high ground as quickly as you can. You may have only minutes to act. Remember, a tsunami is a series of waves, sometimes hours apart. So stay on high ground until you receive an official all-clear message from government sources. While the events of September 29, 2009 will be remembered for a long time, it is also important to not live in fear of the ocean. These are the same waters that have provided for generations of Samoans. It is where your children and their children will play and grow up and fish. But we must educate them about what may happen in their lifetime or their children's lifetime. And they must pass this information on. By doing so, we can help save the lives of Samoans yet to be born.